Hello and welcome to Simon Says Artwork. In this video I'm going to show you a drawing that I do, and I would normally share with you the inking process if it's a pencil drawing first, but in this video I'm going to first show you the pencil drawing and then how the inking process works out. And I'm using some grayscale brush pens, and it's from 2016 I believe, so it's another one where I'm digging into the archives. But okay, let's get started. Now, I like the fact that in this drawing I can show you some of the pencil marks because I think some of this is some of the more pure levels of the drawing, where I've done the wispy underdrawing and then I'm getting in the more solid pencil lines. And I quite like the height of the shoulder and leading up to the neck there. And some of these different marks are some of my favourite from this. And it's probably my favourite stage of this drawing. But I remember trying to make something which was kind of a sci-fi cyberpunk kind of image, which was my favourite. And I say it's drawing from imagination. A lot of it was, but I remember that the model was actually taken from a young woman from Instagram, and I think in her hand she was holding a phone, taking a photograph of herself in a mirror, which is why her hand is positioned the way that it is. But I thought it could just look like she's admiring her hand, and especially if there's something coming out of it. Now, all of these pencil marks here are things which I used to use to try to build up an idea for a scene first. And then, I'd do the wispy underdrawing, and then I'd do the drawing on top, which is a lot more bold. And then I'd start to ink on top of that. So it was kind of 3 layers. Another thing I used to do was to have another phone, which I would have up against the pad, as you can see, just to try and keep an eye on the time and how long it took to do the drawing. And I stopped doing that. That was a thing that I did on Instagram when I first joined. But yeah, some of this was experimenting with the brush pens as well. It was trying to find out how well they worked and what the tones were and how they blended together, and not with the blending brush, but how they sat next to each other, how they'd complement each other or maybe clash, sometimes show an imbalance. And some of them have a slight purple or blue tint to them. So I tried to use that as a way to distinguish clothing from skin tone. And sometimes I'd, make mistakes with it, but a lot of the time it's about learning how to hide mistakes than it is about avoiding them. So with this drawing it was very similar, where I tried to hide my mistakes because there was loads all over the place, but it was fun to try to do a whole scene and to create a bit of an environment for these characters to live in. And it was just something where I thought, if I can make something which looks like it's part of a story, then perhaps the viewer can project their own ideas onto it. Whereas for myself, I just tried to put certain elements together, like the young woman was the one with a slight photo reference for her, and then everything else was done from imagination, the chap in the background and the environment and the shading and pretty much everything else really. It was just trying to get a start for the drawing would help build my confidence, and these days I try to avoid even that, just to see how far I can get without a reference. But it's all good practice, and it's part of how you learn. Okay, that's the video done. Now, I thought that was quite an interesting character in the way that I framed it. It wasn't spot on. I learned a lot from doing it though. I quite like some of the designs and the fashion ideas, a bit of a sci-fi thing which I was quite into. I don't really draw that much like that these days, but I quite like the pencil stage of drawing the female character. But yeah, I thought it'd be worth sharing. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.